The floodwaters have receded, the ark rests on solid ground. But what happens next will establish the foundation for God's relationship with all creation for generations to come. Welcome to Genesis to Revelation, where we discover God's unfolding plan from beginning to end. I'm your host, and today we witness God's first covenant, a rainbow promise that still speaks to us today. Let's read from Genesis 8:20 through 9:17. Then Noah built an altar to the Lord, and taking some of all the clean animals and clean birds, he sacrificed burnt offerings on it. The Lord smelled the pleasing aroma and said in his heart, "Never again will I curse the ground because of humans, even though every inclination of the human heart is evil from childhood. And never again will I destroy all living creatures, as I have done." This passage contains profound, overlooked details that reshape our understanding of God's heart and plan. First, notice the diet change in Genesis 9:3. Everything that lives and moves about will be food for you. Just as I gave you the green plants, I now give you everything. This is revolutionary. From creation until the flood, all creatures, humans and animals, were vegetarian according to Genesis 1:29-30. The permission to eat meat represents a fundamental shift in creation's order. Second, we see God's internal dialogue in verse 21, "The Lord said in his heart." This reveals God's intimate thoughts about humanity. Despite knowing that every inclination of the human heart is evil from childhood, God chooses grace over continued judgment. Third, this covenant includes all creation. The phrase, "every living creature," appears repeatedly. This isn't just about humans, it's about God's commitment to all life. Fourth, Noah's use of clean animals for sacrifice shows the sacrificial system predates the Mosaic law by centuries. Finally, the rainbow. It existed before as natural physics, but God now assigns it covenant meaning, repurposing creation itself as his promise reminder. As we consider this monumental moment, let's listen to the animal witnesses who experienced this covenant firsthand. "I carried the olive branch to Noah, but now I witness something far greater. God's promise of peace with all creation." The rainbow above us isn't just beautiful, it's God's signature on his covenant. I was the first sent out, searching over the waters. I've seen the devastation of judgment, but now I witness the greater power of God's grace. He chooses mercy even knowing our Master's heart remains prone to evil. "My kindred burn on the altar as sweet aroma to the Lord, yet I understand." This sacrifice points to something greater. The blood shed here seals a promise that will never be broken. One day, the perfect lamb will make the ultimate sacrifice. We animals will now live differently. Some of us will become food for humans, yet we trust the Creator's wisdom. When humanity walks in his covenant faithfulness, all creation flourishes. Every rainbow will remind not just humans but all creation that God keeps his word. His covenant endures even when storms come. This covenant reveals crucial truths for us today. First, God's promises are unconditional gifts of grace. Noah didn't negotiate this covenant, God initiated it freely. Second, when we see rainbows, we're seeing God's covenant reminder that his faithfulness endures. Third, our worship and sacrifice, like Noah's, should flow from gratitude for God's deliverance, not attempts to earn his favor. Fourth, as covenant people, we're called to faithful stewardship of the creation God promised to preserve. Let's pray together, asking God to help us live as faithful covenant people, interceding for our world with the same heart of gratitude Noah showed. God's covenant with Noah establishes the foundation for all his future covenants, ultimately pointing to Christ, the perfect sacrifice who seals the new covenant in his blood. Next time, we'll explore the Tower of Babel and humanity's continued rebellion against God's plan. Until then, remember, every rainbow is God's signature on his promise. He keeps his word. Thanks for joining us on Genesis to Revelation.